I learned, you can tell I'm getting tired. I've done like 5 videos today. Hey guys, Lexi here, and well, this video was highly asked for by Peony Pal Mal. Well, I think she's more impressed by the different jobs that I've done throughout my life. So I thought I would just do a video on the 5 different jobs you never knew I had, or maybe you did, I don't know. So let me just start off with my very first job. I worked at Billabong at City Walk. That was in high school, and I worked at Billabong, and there's like a store there at City Walk, and that's just kind of where I worked. I thought it was a super fun, cool job. Then I realized I hated it because, so I felt like it was just like cleaning my room all day. Like there was no like downtime because it's City Walk right next to Universal Studios. So there would just be like waves and rushes of people constantly. And then when it was our peak time, it was like more waves of people. So I was just constantly folding clothes and putting it back, constantly folding clothes and putting it back. And it was just not what I envisioned. What I envisioned was more like Empire Records. I thought it would be like that, but it wasn't. But that will come later in my life. So after Billabong, I became a lifeguard, and I took classes, I got certified, and then I became a lifeguard at a camp called Cali Camp over in Los Angeles, and I would go there and watch the pool all day, every day, and you would think this would be like a super cush job, but it wasn't. It was actually super stressful because when you really think about it, you're watching these kids and their life is in your hands. So like you blink or you sneeze and you can't see for 3 seconds, like that's really unnerving. So I became like the unfun lifeguard where like there really was no running at the pool. Like I would yell at kids constantly, no running around the pool. My poor nieces and nephews too, like it still is like ingrained in me, like what you learn in like the lifeguarding classes. So when they come swimming with me, I'm like, no, like I'm like screaming at them all the time, those poor kids, like no running, you have to jump far out, no pool floaties, like poor kids. I'm just like the no fun aunt in the pool. But their safety is just so important to me. So watching the pool was always like really stressful, and if it were up to me, the kids would just like, I don't know, wade in the shallow end and just stand there up against the walls so I could see all of them and just like not stand there and just stand there like that in the water. But obviously that's not the case. And there was like a water slide at this camp. Oh my God, that would drive me nuts watching the kids go up the ladder. Ooh, I was so stressed all the time, but I got through it. All the kids, I didn't have one safe at the camp, but then the parents would hire me for like private parties and stuff. And so I would watch the kids swimming there, and while the parents got like, well, they were having a good time in the other room. But that's why you hire a lifeguard. So I would watch the kids, and I only had to jump in once because a kid got stuck under a like one of those like floating islands or whatever. But she couldn't get out, so she was going like that, so I had to jump in and get her. And luckily I saved her. But other than that, luckily I did not have any other saves or like anything super serious happen. But I did that for a couple of summers, and yeah, so that was just the lifeguard in your head is always super cool, but I think deep down inside they might look super cool, but deep down inside they're just like super stressed out because there's like a lot of kids' lives in their hands. So that was a stressful job. Another job that I had was I worked at Chick's Sporting Goods, and I worked the cashier, and that was more like Empire Records. So my best friend Irini worked there, and she was like an assistant manager, so she was like higher up on the totem pole, and I just did cashier, and I pretty much just did it for a summer because my best friend worked there. It was like really easy hours, it was close to my house, and it was honestly like Empire Records. It was like a bunch of young kids, all of us were the same age, and we literally just like mucked around the store. Like it was so fun. That was a time where I met Kris Jenner and helped her buy a ton of UGG boots. But yeah, I just got to work the cashier, and I got to hang out with some friends, and it was a super easy cush job. And then Chick's got bought out by Dick's, I'm not making this up, and that was the end of my career at Chick's. Just because I quit and I wanted to go abroad, so I did. And I didn't know very much about sports then. I just did the cashier, and I never got my cashier right. Like you have to like count at the end, like make sure that you're even out, and like my math was never right. Math is not my strong suit, and Rini, my best friend, would be like, Alexis, come on, if you get this 7 days in a row, you get a bonus, and I would never get it right. It just I was too busy socializing and having fun. Like I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. I was always off by like, not by much, like 25 cents, 10 cents, like whatever. But she would always get on me. But that was super fun, and I would just like make fake calls over the intercom to her, and she would always get so embarrassed. But it was super fun, and I would just call her in her office all the time, like, what are you doing? Can I come back there? So a little tidbit that a lot of people actually don't know about me is that my uncle is an actor, and he was a big actor in the 70s and 80s. He was on a show called Chips. His name is Eric Estrada, and it was like a police show. So he still works with a lot of the same people. There was a lot of stunts on the show. So the director from there, I needed a job. He asked me if I wanted a job. I said yes, and so pretty much what I did was I stunt drove for a lot of films. And I didn't do like crazy stunts, but I did do quite a few because there wasn't a lot of girls my age and my height and weight. And so I did a lot of like stunt driving for films. So like Drive, Batman, what else did I do? I don't know, some commercials, and I would sit like in back seats sometimes, I had to put on a wig, and I got to work with some really cool stunt drivers that did cool stuff. I didn't really do any cool stuff. Sometimes I would just be like the background car that like the cool stunt drivers would like drive around. Sometimes I would just be in the passenger seat while the stunt driver, like the legit stunt driver, did stuff. And so that was just like a fun job, but I got to meet Ryan Gosling. I got to meet some really cool directors like Christopher Nolan. I got to see the Batmobile, which was super cool. And that was the Batman, shoot, what Batman was that? The one with Bane in it. That was the Batman that I worked on. So that was super cool, that was a fun job. And then one time I was driving, you guys, this is so embarrassing. One time I was driving it was like an old fashioned car, and it didn't, like, I had a hard time, whatever, it was an old car and I had a hard time putting it in park, and so I thought I put it in park but I didn't, and it was still going in drive, and it hit the car in front of me. Luckily, it wasn't going very fast or anything, but it still hit it. I actually tried to stop the car with my hands, but like, obviously you can't stop a car, you know what I mean? It was just super embarrassing. They had to take a claim out and everything. Ugh, so that was the end of my stunt career. Even if they wanted me back, I wouldn't have gone. I would have been like, nope, done so. But whatever, I got to meet Ryan Gosling, so it all works out. While I was stunt driving at night, I would work for the clothing therapist, Dana, during the day. So I would work all night and then sleep for a couple hours and then work all day with the clothing therapist, helping her style, pick up clothes, drop clothes off, returns, keeping her stuff like organized, all the clothes, all that stuff. And she would like go and clean out a lot of clients' closets and just help get stuff from A to B, and whatever pretty much she needed, I helped her. And just like have her as a friend now, and even though like I used to work for her, I'm glad that we're friends, and I can still, I don't know, I can still work with her. I mean, it's just super cool to come full circle like that. But anyways, so one day I have like another really funny, embarrassing story. I remember I bought my first pair of like nice jeans. Maybe they weren't my first pair, but they were definitely like, where like I bought them, my parents didn't buy them for me, but like I bought them with my own money, and they were like my cool pair of skinny jeans. And they were by Vince. And they were like, they weren't like stretchy jeans, they were like real jeans, so like they were really like tough. Well anyways, it was like a summer day, and I went to one of her clients' house. I remember who it was Shonda Rhimes. And I remember wearing these jeans and I was like sweating. I'm sweating everywhere, you guys. And I'm picking up this trash bag, and as I'm picking it up, my pants down the booty rip. There was no give, and just the sweat, I guess it was just like, I don't know, it was like getting caught on my skin, and it just freaking ripped right down the booty. Oh my God, I was so embarrassed. I was like, what do I do? I know there was people downstairs. I didn't know what to do. So I grabbed like a sweater from one of the bags, I tied it around my waist, picked up the bag, and just finished going out. But that was that. Another job that I had along the way was I worked at IGN. I don't know if you guys know that, and it's like kind of like an ESPN but for video games. And I worked there, I was the production coordinator, where I helped, pretty much I was just like the Khaleesi of video. So any video that would come in that we would do and produce, pretty much had a hand in it in one way or another, and helping with live streams, and I even got to host my own show. But working at IGN was definitely a huge pivotal point in my life. And I just like, I don't know, it was just such a good time. There was a good group of people there, and I just loved it. I worked there for quite a bit, 3 years I think, and that's where I met Hunter, and then quickly, not quickly, I guess a year after is when I quit. And like a lot of people were making changes, like, you know, the Kind of Funny guys, they went off on their own, and it was just like me, Sean, and Alex Olamida, Bearded Mets Bro, and we were all kind of just there, and I didn't like the way the management was going. I like didn't have a manager for like 6 months, you guys. So I was like, you know what, this isn't for me, I'm not happy here, and I went my separate way. And then I started this. So enjoy yourself, get a job, have some fun, get that cheddar, and I can't wait to hear about your guys' jobs. Bye. If you guys like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Also, let me know in the comments below what your oddest job was. And if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and hit that sub button, and I'll see you guys in the chat. Bye.